What's
Hey,
up,
bud, how
buddy?
we doing? Happy Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. You eating tacos or what?
Dude, I am not eating tacos today. I'll tell you what. I wish I was. I made some soup today. I was excited about it, tweeted about it.
I was excited about it. You tweeted about it. I was just like, you already know that tastes good. Freaking non-American, freaking meat, vegetables. Whew. You already know it's gonna be better.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's get it.
I'm super excited to get into this one. We got a cool ass dude. You love him. I already know. So I've talked to him a little bit, but I'm really excited for everyone else to get to know him too. Do you want to do the little promo thing, John?
Yeah, so right now, if you look up in this side, I can't point there, but up in the corner, we've got a QR code that would be for Mexi. So like if you're interested in trading or if you want to be trading, they have some of the lowest fees. It's one of my favorite exchanges. I will say right now that there is some kind of FUD about them being unregulated. So do your own research, be careful. But I've been using it up to this point and I love it. I get like $3 or something, maybe $5 if you sign up through that link. Use it, don't use it. Thanks. And then we've also got JPEG Empire logo up here. So JPEG Empire is an NFT project that I'm part of the team. I'm one of the council members and really love the community. We have a bunch of cool stuff going on. And actually, like our guest today might have some insider information. We'll see. But tell us about some stuff, Burgess.
Okay. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to my goons real quick. NFT project I'm a part of. I really love. I can't go to the yacht party, but I really hope that everyone has fun at the yacht party. Go get yourself a goon. They're going to be really expensive eventually. You're going to get 3D files that you can play with in Blender, that you can play with in games. Check it out. And I want to give my little shout out to J Chains Turbo 74K over at Web3 Breakfast. I listen to him pretty much every single morning on my way to work. If you want a good morning show to listen to, which it's not totally about crypto, it's just talking about real life and good stuff, and then a little crypto sprinkled in there, go check them out. You'll laugh your fucking ass off, trust me. So, and without further ado, let's bring up our guest, John.
Yeah, man. All right, so this is Aaron. Hey, Aaron, how we doing today?
What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good. Pretty
good.
I'll do a quick little intro. So Aaron is basically a dev across Web2 and Web3. He's a founder of several different projects, which we're going to ask him about. And yeah, he's on the team also for JPEG Empire. So we get to talk a lot. And Burgess is here going to ask him the first questions because he's got to get to know him a little bit better so you guys can get to know him a little bit better.
Okay.
Love it.
I've been thinking about this a little bit through the past couple days. I made a tweet on X about it. I know you used to be a professional gamer. So first I want to know about that. I want to know what kind of games you like, what kind of games you're into, and then I want to know your opinion of how Web3 games are going overall. And then,
Does Goons have a Web3 presence in gaming? So have they built out anything in gaming yet?
I don't think so, but I found an X project. It is a gold badge X. It's Goons Games or something like that.
Interesting.
And it has Fortnite and Roblox and a couple other things. I know they actually do have an official Roblox sponsorship because it's on their website, but that's the only other alpha I've seen that isn't anywhere else. It's just right there. It has Fortnite and some other things on it. So I'm really excited to see what that's all about. Like, because I'm like a really big supporter. I have one of every single in the club. I don't have a rare. I actually have here. I'm gonna flex it real quick.
Nice. Yeah.
I love these things. They're dope.
I have a bunch of the physical stuff behind me. It's all scattered around the bookshelf. So I get to go to a lot of events from some of the stuff I get to do. There's the Pudgy. I've got a bunch of their Pudgy stuff before they dropped. I've got the Pudgy hype thing right there. So, yeah, I love the physical stuff. Dope. So I did play games for money once upon a time. I'm older than I look, I like to say. So it was a long time ago. It'll be 20 years this year, which is wild to think about, that when I originally sort of started in games. I started in, if you guys know what Counter-Strike is, which most people do, but they don't know that Valve also made a World War II shooter called Day of Defeat. And it was 6v6. It had some like capture the flag-esque elements. But it was really popular for a really short amount of time. If I have anybody listening that's an OG gamer, they'll recognize some of these. I won Kali and Sivo back in the day in those. While I was doing that, I like Halo 2 came out. So I jumped on Halo 2, ended up playing that for a long time. Halo 2 and Day of Defeat were the ones I loved the most. And then I jumped into Counter-Strike because the audience was just there. It had the hype. And it was toxic enough for me to be enjoying it at that point. After that, when the reactions time started to slow down, as much as I don't want to admit they did, I moved into games like I tried StarCraft for a little bit. I couldn't do StarCraft. It was fun, and I liked the theory crafting behind it, but maybe it's like a form of ADD that is undiagnosed for me, but I just couldn't look at the screen that much. So I moved into games like Dota, and because I had played at such like a high APM game, Dota just felt like very easy and natural. So I played that at a like higher competitive tier, but not like what I had done before. So I still play that every now and then, but games are like an hour. And it's really, really toxic. So yeah, that's the professional gaming background.
Have you tried Valorant?
Yeah, I played Valorant for a bit because I did CSGO. Valorant's okay. I did Overwatch as well for a short bit. I like aiming, and so like I was if we got a sniper in Halo, they would make sure I got it. I used to get dropped ops in Counter-Strike, and so I played Hanzo a lot in Overwatch because I like the sniping angle, and Widow. But obviously, like you're usually cancer if you play that in pubs nonstop. So
for sure. So, what's your opinion of the Web3 games that have come out so far, and do you think they could be better in any ways?
Yeah, so probably I asked about Goons on purpose. I filter slightly, but not too much when I talk about things, so I'm gonna be pretty blunt. I think every project is either doing one of three things. They're either making some sort of card game, they're doing a Roblox or Fortnite integration, or in UEFN, and that's it. Outside of that, they're trying to piece together some game, unless they're a major player in the space, i.e. like a Shrapnel, a Grapes, who is just churning out games, which actually is not a bad strategy. I don't think that there's a company out there right now that's actually making games at the correct clip for actual gamers to want to jump in and play. So I have ties to the professional gaming realm still. I don't see those players jumping on board and saying, okay, I'm going to stop doing the thing that is making me money on Twitch, right? Because to be blunt, that's how they all make money. You don't make money when you actually go and play in tournaments these days. And a lot of games are dying because there's not support for tournaments. People aren't watching people play the game competitively. They're watching people go on and make fools of themselves on stream, right? Like that's what people want to see. We don't have games like that in Web3. And so you need a competitive edge for sure to have that like fun dynamic. So we're getting there on that. That requires a polished game, but then you also need it to be fun to watch. And it's only fun to watch if you have those personalities that are going to make it fun to watch. And until they can get those people to come on board, we're not going to see a game come out and get the actual money people come in spending, right? Like Hearthstone's like a good example because it's really easy to understand. Well, it came out, it worked on all your devices. You had the same exact thing on every device. It was fun to watch, but you could go on as a casual player and be very close to the skill level and play, right? Like you could use the exact same cards that they use. And so they had a business model.
At all levels too.
Yeah. So
this is the thing that like I saw today. So like I went to a gaming space, okay? And they're like the people that just like farm the shit out of people for engagement, right? So I was just like, what's this all about? So I went in and they were talking like just like about like hype stuff. You know what I mean? Like in a way.
It was a hype space. Yeah.
It was kind of like a hype space in a way. and like I respect that, which like it has its place. Twitter, don't hate the game, don't hate the player, hate the game, But like in a way, like I felt like they got the wrong point. People want games that play well, and they want to come back and it's like enjoyable to play, and that's like the target audience. Like that's all they care about is like a fun game that feels great and it's new. They don't want like a copy and paste like Call of Duty or like survival game or whatever. Like I was kind of giving like a comparison to one of my friends, like if you like Fortnite when it came out, for example. Like they were talking about Fortnite and they're all like hyped about the skins and all this shit. They're talking about the skins like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like, way more value and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, like Fortnite was popular and I played from season 1. Fortnite was popular because it was a brand new game with brand new mechanics. It felt completely different. It didn't feel like any game that had ever been played, and everyone that played instantly got hooked. And then it blew up. And then the skins really blew up, and then all the money came. And that's what like I feel like the Web3 industry doesn't understand, is that's the key part. If you create something that's so addictive and fun to play, the money will just frickin', it don't even matter about the art, don't even matter about anything. I don't know, that's my opinion.
Yeah, it has to be a good game, but it also has to be replayable. And the problem is that the gaming market is very oversaturated. So even outside of Web3, we're seeing game studios shut down. And so to say that a random group of people who stumbled upon a lot of money can go and compete in an industry they're not from or a part of is very difficult for people to believe. Yeah, we had a game. So I ran a game studio prior to this, and when like I won't get into the weeds there, but we ended up going out and grabbing advisors from the gaming space. So we had, and he's building Mystery Society now, which is like a Among Us Web3-esque type of game. But he was the original founder of Club Penguin. He was on our advisory board over at Unnamed. And the reason why we wanted to get people like him is because they're so comfortable in the gaming space. And that's what I think a lot of these games are missing. They're trying to just build like that. That's why I hate farming, but it's just not a sustainable model. Like I'm not going to go on and tweet Harem and Block and GMRX every day and then expect that I'm going to enjoy doing that and find value in it. So, but teach their own. If you get a bunch of money from doing it, awesome. So
yeah, for real. Like it's one of those things. You can't hate the player. You hate the game.
100%. I love it.
It's so annoying. It's like the same thing with like I'm like sometimes when I like tweet out some things, it'll just be dumb, super dumb. But I know people will like it though.
If you get that engagement, that's what matters, right?
Like I'll get 1,000 like views on this freaking thing, so I'm gonna send it up.
Let me hop in here real quick. So I touched on this a little bit a second ago. So there's a game called Imposters by Elio Trades. Are you familiar with that one, Burgess?
I'm not. I was looking at that and I'm super curious. So let's talk about that, John. Give us a little bit of that.
Yeah, so Super Farm is the project that he is a part of, and basically, like I think it's going to do very well. It's kind of like a ultra gaming studio, like Ultra Games, and let me show you. Actually, let's see.
Because there's Ultra, there's Hyperplay, right? Those are like the Steam competitor platforms on Web3. So they're building on Ultra. Okay.
So yes, except for
this because I don't think I don't know. I don't think it's up to par yet. I haven't heard anything.
Similar to what you were saying, with this one is supposed to be creator first, right? So like they have created this game. It's an Among Us style game where people can also have digital ownership of like unique versions of that game that they create. So it's supposed to be put into play to be like for the streamers to be able to be ridiculous and like everything. And Elio Trades is a well-known, like specifically Web3 gaming influencer who's been around, eminent founder in this studio for a long time. And so that's kind of his idea that he's going with. And this is, I believe, I guess on ETH. And it's had a lot of traction and it's been going pretty well, but in my mind, like he's already got those streamer connections. You know what I mean? So like, I think that when it rolls out, that's going to be a big one, just in general. But similar to what you were saying with Mystery Society.
There was that game that came out, Omega Strikers. I don't know if you guys remember I think it was a couple years ago now. There was a 3v3 free-to-play game on Steam, and you would end up joining a creators league. And so like all these creators, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Penguin Zero, Moist, Critical Charlie, whatever you know him as, but gigantic YouTuber. He had his own like league, and you would play and your points would go towards that creator. It was one of the most clever and unique go-to-market strategies. The game has, I think, since died, but it absolutely blew up on Steam. It was an okay, relatively fun game. But if you get the KOLs and you get the big personalities and they actually enjoy playing it, and you can tell when they're streaming it that they enjoy it, then that's how you get a game to market. So it does need to be fun. It needs to be a well thought out game.
From the pictures, it's like new and creative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even have to play it, and I automatically like, dang, this is interesting. This is something I've never seen before. You know, and that's perfect. It's too bad that died.
I think it still has, I think, a little bit of an audience, but yeah, it was really cool go to market, and that's what a lot of them are missing as well. Like even the good games and the fun ones, then you have to go and market it, right? And I talked about this a little bit earlier already, but the market is so oversaturated. I have a bajillion games on Steam, and I just labeled off 2 other platforms that I can go and download: Hyperplay, Ultra. Then you have Epic Games. Then there's Ubisoft. Like all of these different platforms, you're just kind of overwhelmed by which game I'm going to go and play. And so we are so limited as to what we're actually going to play as gamers, right? So
yeah, I'm just excited for some game to come out. I know it's gonna come out of nowhere, and it's just gonna be new, creative, the most addicting thing, and the wave will come. But it hasn't came yet. I'm waiting. I'm patient.
Shrapnel looks good. So Shrapnel could be cool.
I beta tested it, I got like the early like extraction pack, and
it's my favorite. Tell them what you really feel.
I'll roast it right now. I don't want to, but I can roast Shrapnel.
I haven't played it, so I have no opinion on it.
And I have like a decent PC. Like it should run great. And dude, I don't know. That game, I'll be honest. So I'll give the pros to that game. The design and the art and everything and the main shit that they show everyone, it's amazing. It's beautiful. And when you're in game, it looks amazing and beautiful. And I have no arguments with that part. But the rest of the map isn't done. So get that done and then let people play. Like that's what professionals do. And then make a game that's not clunky. And I feel like it's so clunky. And I feel like a bunch of people may be cheating in it because literally, like, I was getting, dude, I'm not like bad. I'm not super good, but I'm not bad. And I was just sitting there like questioning like so many things, being like, bro, that was like a half millisecond you killed me and I shot you like 10 times. What's going on? This isn't fun. I'm done. Who knows?
They have another beta test coming soon. And it should be a little bit more.
I mean, I hope so. Like, I wish them the best of luck. That's the thing. I love the idea and everything. And if it's fun and they make a great game, then I'll play it. But that freaking first look, oh my God. People were ranting raving and all over X being, oh my God, it was so sick. And I'm like, what are you guys like on some shit? Like, what is going on?
Same game?
It was like, okay, I get the hype. Did you pay for the hype? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I was so confused.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it. I interviewed there, so full disclosure, and I interviewed for a lead position a year and a half ago, prior to MinPass, and I didn't end up taking it. They are former game developers. Like it's a stacked team. They're not they had the Web3 chops, but they're game first. It was just they wanted me to work on site, so they're very old school.
I'm so much more confused. I'm so much more confused now.
I think they'll figure it out. That's optimization. So like they just need to optimize the game. Yeah. So, but I'm excited for Miranda's. There's a few games like I haven't downloaded yet, but Seekers of Tokane, which is on Epic, I think, and then Miranda's looks good. Then there's that. I know the founders of. There's another pirate like MOBA-esque game coming out, Golden Tides, which like I remember talking to them. I mean, I never signed anything with these guys, and the Golden Tides team is awesome. But I was talking to them a year and a half ago, and they were like, "I wish we could just release an NFT because we want to tie value to it, but we don't want to just throw an NFT out there." And like seeing them actually minting like coming up is absolutely wild because they weren't even planning on it. So I got to play their alpha like 6 months ago. It's crazy how much they've blown up. So those ones I'm excited for. But yeah, to your point, like none of the games that I'm super excited for this year are blockchain native. But yeah, the alpha I can tell you is that we're working on something that I don't have the rights to announce, but it'll be announced shortly. So we just inked a deal, and I'm pretty excited for that. So
it means we've got to book you for next time, and then we'll talk about it.
Give it about 30 to 60 days. They have the rights to announce. We don't, but they didn't say I couldn't talk about it. So just not announce it or say who it's with. So, but I'm going to be putting out something hopefully within this year that'll be fun is the goal. So
good. Nice. That's super exciting here. I did it. So we're going to have a guy on later that we've had on before, and he's making a game. I play tested that game, and it's right down the alley. We had a conversation about it, and like I was like, same opinion, gave it to him, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta show you some stuff then." So I play tested his game, and I was like, exactly. It has a huge skill gap. It's something I've never played before, like feeling wise. This is exactly the type of thing I think could take off, something new and creative. And they did, honestly, the graphics, they're going to work on now, but the feeling and everything is clean. They have a couple glitches, but it's clean. Like, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm really excited for the future.
Are they public?
Not yet.
I think,
Not yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think they're like super public or what, but yeah, we're about to talk to them about them in the future, so we're excited.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm excited for when they go public and you guys can tell me.
Yeah, for sure. I want you to try it. I think you'll be like, it has some good feelings to it. Just a bunch of different nostalgia, kind of almost. Yeah, I just don't want to talk about it too much because
No sweat. I've played a lot of games in Web3 too. So like, and I do play some of the more like passive games. Like I'm a big Sunflower Lands player. And just for some reason, I like it. I've been playing it for such a long time. I think my farm is number 5,094. So I'm like very early on Sunflower Land. And there's a few other ones that I do, but I'm waiting for the one that's going to hook me. Nifty Island was okay. It was relatively polished.
I think it has like a lot of improvements, but it will be great because I love that you can go in and build your own custom thing and get your 3D files and do all that stuff. And the NFT communities are going to friggin' melt over it. And like that. Yep.
I agree.
And I'm excited because the goons are going to have some stuff I think that we can put into that game because of the 3D files.
See, I like that better than Roblox Fortnite. I really do.
Me too.
So.
That's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm excited to jump in there and see what they really do with that game. And then the 3D files to just be like, dang, this is like so much cooler. It's this really cool thing I invested in. And I got to play with it and edit it and make it my own. And it's super exciting.
Dope.
All right. So one thing that I wanted to touch on at the beginning, your cat was like making the most noise I've ever heard come out of a cat. So Aaron, are you a cat person or a dog person?
Cat. I don't have a cat.
So is your dog then?
That was my dog. I have two dogs. So I have an Aussie and I have a Bernese. So very opposite actually dogs. But yeah, the Aussie is vocal. So it drives me nuts. So he's super smart, very well trained. He knows more commands than I'm not a good dog trainer, but he like opens and closes doors for me. I can get him to do that. And he can go and like the Bernese will like lock himself in somewhere and he'll go and let him out when I give him command. It's crazy. Like I just got super lucky with how smart he is. So, but
That's
I love,
super fun. I love it.
yeah, I love animals. So I've had quite a few, but that's a story for another day. I've had almost every animal that's legal in the States. So growing up, so
That's
I've had some out there stuff. Yeah.
Sweet. That's super cool. Like a zoo,
I was on
then.
space the other day with a girl that sells and breeds Savannah cats.
Yeah, my mom bred hairless cats when I was a kid. So if
Oh,
you're
I
familiar with
want
hairless
one.
cats,
Yeah.
she
Dude.
loves them. She has one right now. So
I'm hypoallergic. I'm allergic to cats, so I need one.
I'm allergic to dogs. So I take my medicine every morning. So I've got it right here, my Monteleu cast. So I can have my dogs. So but get a hairless cat. They're cool.
Uh,
They got a
I
good
need some-
personality. Get it. You got to get it, man. It works. I mean, right now I look worse because of the seasonal allergies, but yeah, like I don't know. I love dogs. I want a snake. So I had a snake growing up. I had a couple of them, but like that's going to be the next pet that I get.
Hell yeah. I've
Yeah.
always wanted a steak. I've never gotten a steak before. I've always wanted like a big like boa or like I don't know what the hell to get, but something cool as hell that I can just be like, yeah, just carry it on my arms, you know?
They just chill. So like especially like I'm on the computer so much and it'll just hang out. And they're like it's cooling and it's calming. Like I don't know. I love them. So wife is really scared of them, but she'll get over it. So
Same. I don't know what to do. I have to work around that one. Watch it.
So,
Don, what kind of animals do you got? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
oh
You got
man,
animals?
dude, it's such a bad question. Okay, it's
Why?
such a specifically bad question. Okay, so
Why?
I had this wonderful dog, right? And it's kind of like a little Chihuahua dog.
Dude,
And yeah, and it I mean, like if there was ever like a mouse or something in the house, it would get it. It was just well behaved. It was the best. It was the best dog. But it got sick a little bit ago, so we're all like a little hurt from it still. So we need like probably like 4 more months, and then we might get a new one.
pretty specific timeline.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been like 3, and we've just
Yeah.
all been like, ugh. So like half a year is like that sweet spot where it's like, okay, maybe something else. All right, so something we didn't touch on so much. Aaron,
What?
you are a founder of
Mhm.
some businesses in Web3.
Yeah, I
believe.
want to talk about that. I'm like, dang, let's talk about.
Tell
some
us
stuff.
about like your background and like how you got here and like, well, tell us about your background in that sense and how you got to Web3, and we'll go there.
Sure, yeah. I generally don't shill very well, which is why I usually hire people to shill. So I'll try to at least share what I do.
Don't even
So,
try to
that's
on
all.
yourself,
That's
like,
all you
just
gotta
talk
do.
about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're not even trying to shill, you know? We're just trying to talk about what you're working on, like your part, you know? Like,
Yeah, I can share a lot of it. So I originally got into Web3 a while ago because I remember my first memory of like Bitcoin was it came out around the time of Spotify. And I was like, I'm either going to download Spotify. I had like early access to Spotify, right? And I was like, and figure out Spotify or download and figure out Bitcoin. And I was like, okay, I'll download Spotify because that's easier. And then I went out and got drunk in college. So I was like, okay, oops. So came back to it a little bit later. I think in like 2017 was the next time I started to get into it and started to teach myself how to code a little bit, but I'm all self-taught coding wise. I have a master's in IT, but IT has nothing to do with software engineering. So like I ended up teaching that myself. And I was originally learning what is now called AI, but it was machine learning. So I was teaching myself like machine learning and taking some Stanford courses on a whim. And then decided to teach myself blockchain engineering instead because I enjoyed that a little bit more. Ended up working at AWS for a short stint and then moved into corporate America at a company called Encore Capital. I was pretty senior in their risk and compliance program for IT. I think it's because I could communicate and most people in IT can't talk and they look like they can't talk. So they would put me in a room and I would communicate and they were like, okay, you do this. And I shouldn't have been doing that. But I did learn quite a bit, but I hated corporate America and knew that was not going to be for me. So I only did that for a couple of years. While I was doing that, that's when like I taught myself how to do all the blockchain stuff. Ended up teaching at university, so I taught software engineering in AWS, and then I founded my first company. So the way that I founded my first company was I went and grabbed all the skills that I figured I would need to run a company. I knew the tech, so I was like, okay, I'm good there. I didn't have sales chops. I wasn't good actually like communicating with people. And I still struggle with that quite a bit. It just doesn't come naturally to me. Like I don't mind awkward silence and people do. And so I was like, oh, well, that's weird. So I was like, all right, figure out how to talk to people. The best way I found to do that was try to sell insurance. So I was like, I never would want to do that in my entire life, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. So I did it for a year and a half, right? And I ended up making some money. So, but yeah, I was like, how am I going to learn sales? So same thing. And then I was like, okay, then I need to learn marketing. So I created I had a web development studio, picked up brands, and started building with some brands. And I was like, okay, great. Now I know how to do accounting. Like I've subcontracted out work. I ended up, the first company I actually founded prior to all this was a handyman services company. I did everything other than electric, and I would subcontract out most of the work. And I would take every single job as long as it wasn't electric, and I would just YouTube it. So I was like, why am I doing this for physical labor? I could just do this for tech. Like I'm teaching myself how to do this on the job. So I was like, all right, I'll teach myself tech. And that's when I decided to get into tech. First company I founded was a gamified mentoring platform called Pedestal. Best name I've ever come up with for a company. It was like, I forget our catchphrase, but it was something like craft your pedestal or like put yourself on a pedestal, right? Was the whole premise. We got to about like 5,000 users. I was a little bit early to the blockchain side of things, and it was very polarizing to have blockchain involved in the pitch, because I raised money, and I would go and raise money, and I would be a blockchain startup as soon as they figured out I had blockchain tech, not the actual value prop, which was the gamified mentoring ecosystem. So I was like, all right, I don't want this to be so polarizing that I just have to raise on Web3. Ended up meeting a guy named Tim while I was doing that, and he was working on Web3 loyalty, and he was very early to the Web3 loyalty space. So I jumped on board there and sort of wound down Pedestal. Pedestal officially shut down actually this last December. So no more taxes. But CloudChain was the next company, and that was Web3 loyalty. We originally started, he had already worked with like sports players and creators. And then when I came on board, we tried to move more into businesses. But a lot of the businesses, as you've seen with things like Starbucks Odyssey, they want to build themselves. So it was very hard to break into that. We did okay. People were interested in the tech we had built. I got to build some pretty cool protocols. And while doing all of that, I really ramped up services so we didn't have to raise money. And so that's when I founded, but I'm a co-founder now in title, Quarter Machine, which is that NFT project that you've probably seen that I do with Sean Duras and the Space Station team. So if you're familiar with Space Station Gaming or any of Sean Duras' stuff, he was a huge Snapchatter. I own Quarter Machine with him. So Tom, who I do the break with, is the community manager there, and he is crushing it. So they've been around, I think, since 2021. We've given out hundreds in ETH to our holders for when your NFT is featured on YouTube, you end up getting a flat reward, is what I'm supposed to say, for it being featured, right? So it's not a royalty.
Yeah, I was super curious like how that was, because I looked that up and I was like, what does that mean? And then now that makes way more sense. So you actually
not a royalty.
You monetize people's NFTs on YouTube, right?
Yeah, because they're successful at YouTube, and the YouTube channel has over 100,000 subscribers. They just don't market it well, but it's because Sean's brand doesn't want to pull people there. It wants to pull it to A for Adley and his other brand in Space Station. So which is like totally their call. But yeah, that's how it works. And then we created a physical NFT vending machine that blew up at VCon back in 2022. We had this huge line. It was actually, we were right next to Deadfellas, and Betty had just doxed herself, and we had a huge line blocking Deadfellas, and I felt so bad because I was like stealing her thunder. But it let me travel, and like I can't publicly say this one unless it's in my space. But if you can figure out what that poster is, I got to go and do work for those guys. So just offline I can share. But all of that with Quarter Machine was like this physical representation of NFTs and the degen culture. So we got to go to a lot of events for that. We did a lot of really cool collabs with like Gala, Lyrical Lemonade. I got to go to Snoop's compound with Quarter Machine and build out some custom tech there. Yeah, I got to go to Japan.
You got to work with Lyrical Lemonade. Who's Who does that again? I forget his name. I used to follow him when I used to have Instagram and all that BS.
Yeah, I don't remember. His name starts with a C. It's the dude. He was DJ. So the way when he did it, we went to Tao in New York.
That blonde dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy, dude. That guy makes really cool music videos.
He does. He did the one with Jack Black. Yeah, that was cool. But it was awesome. Like that type of stuff is really fun. And so that was like services were ramping up. I was working with partners. We're working with like big TikTokers too to build out some cool tech, like Michael Lee, who had over 50 million followers on TikTok at the time when he was working with us. So that sort of wound down. So CloudChain ended up winding down. And while that was happening, I was like, all right, Tim went back and got a job in law because he was a lawyer. And I was like, I want to take the services side of things and sort of make it a little bit more intimate and jump on board with teams at a higher level, where I'm like CTO and CPO with all the products I've launched at this point. And that's what I've been doing. So I work with a couple of really cool founders. We're building some cool stuff. I think I can share, there's one guy that I'm working with where we have like a 3-headed monster, and we've got the gaming side of things that have sort of leaked. And then I can't share what the other piece is. That one's being worked on. And then we have an NFT marketplace on a layer 1 that's going to be coming out, which is pretty cool. They're about to announce that. I can't announce that either. And then I do some stuff with Phygital. So if you guys know who Phygital is.
I love Phygital.
Yeah. So Phygital's a good dude. We have Fantasy Friends live right now. If you're not on Fantasy Friends, we're literally running free tournaments. So you should get on there. We're giving away tons of rails. So
super cool.
It's fun.
Blockchain incorporated fantasy football.
Yep. For SocialFi platforms. Eventually we want to get to Twitter, but obviously it's so easy with key data to do this. So we have a lot of very cool plans with Fantasy Friends. Phygital and I have 2 other projects in the works, so they haven't been announced, and I'm not even at liberty to announce them. The second one that we're having coming out after this is the coolest thing I am absolutely hyped on. So I'll tell you offline. So,
John told me, he was just like, dude, Aaron's been telling me he doesn't know what's going on, but it's crazy, he says. And I was just like, oh, good thing I bought that really cheap.
Yeah. I'm pumped.
The future of that whole company. I remember that when I first stumbled upon them and saw the information they just presented, and I was just like, "Oh, what? I gotta buy it. And it was
which
so
company?
Cheap. I'm so happy. Phygital.
No, I think you might be thinking of a different Phygital. Which stuff?
The Goons Phygitals.
He did that. That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot he did that. Yeah, I forgot about that because he did stuff with quite a few people. Yeah, he's pretty connected. So
yeah, that project looks sick. Oh yeah. I'm
yes.
excited.
Yeah. Check out get on Fantasy Friends. If you don't have Rails, you guys can potentially DM me, but I don't have that much Rails, so I can hook you guys up if you DM me fast after this. Anybody who's listening, and we can get you on Fantasy Friends so you can play and get in these tournaments because they're getting full. Like I'm missing some of these, so I'm looking at it right now. And then outside of that, I'm working on cool stuff with like Jesse Hines over at Seed Starter. So he's got a platform where he does fundraising on chain. It's very cool. His first one just launched like yesterday or 2 days ago. I've already thrown some money at it. He's just like he was the ex-CLO of Gala, like another lawyer who's wicked smart. And then there's a couple of other cool projects I'm working on, but I can't announce them. It's always part of what my terms are. And then what we're doing at JPEG Empire, which again, I can't even fully share. So, but at least I can share what we're working together. So, and then I've got MintPass. So MintPass is my main jam. So that's the one I always save it for last. That's the best one, in my opinion.
Super cool. I looked at that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to take over, dude. That's awesome that you made that. That's like so genius, in my opinion. To like
the
really
MintPass stuff?
The MintPass thing is
thanks,
so cool.
man.
Yeah, I loved it. I showed my wife that. I was like, "This is like, look at this," and she's like, "Oh wow, that's super cool." Like, I would love people's opinions.
If you guys want to get into beta, let me know. I can hook you guys up. So we're in beta right now. So we're always looking for more users. And we got accepted into Outlier, which was really, really cool. And they're like the best Web3 accelerator. But yeah, it's a travel app. It's literally meant to reward you for sharing travel recommendations. So the MVP is super simple. It'll just be logging. So you can log your experiences and get a digital souvenir. That's it. And then we're going to ramp up to the actual recommendation piece. I'm working on it. We're hoping to go live. I'm targeting next month. The co-founder over there is Sam. He's an awesome dude. You might have seen him on Twitter. He's got a punk as his profile picture. He was I don't know how he labels it, but I'm pretty sure he was the president of PokerGo. So he's got an awesome background. Couldn't be thrilled to have him as it's the best co-founder I could wish for, right? So, but yeah, let me know if you want to get into beta. Anybody listening, I'm happy to get you guys in there. So we'll get you on test
for
flight.
sure want to do that. I'll give you some awesome recommendations in Honduras right now.
Love it.
And been to a few other places, so
that would be awesome.
Let's put
Couple
the
up
plug.
there.
Put up the plug that you want to throw up. So everyone go give Aaron a follow on X. Check out his projects. They're pretty sweet. He's part
They've got my old site up there. I gotta change that. I gotta get a site up for odds and ends.
It looks good though. Oh wait,
Thanks.
odds and ends. You have a site for that?
No, I'm working on it. I like very interactive sites, and so if you go to unnamed.gg, that was the site I had for the previous studio, and it's literally pachinko balls to navigate. So I'm trying to outdo it. I'm working on the odds and ends site right now, actually.
So everybody can just have a quick look at it. Let's see if I.
That's what you guys are talking about, because I didn't think I heard anything about this.
So
This is my
basically,
old
you can
city.
drop these balls into the different groups. I'm not going to do it right now because then it'll freeze up for me because I got too many things open right now. But I like it. It's definitely an interesting interface. And then outdoing that I think is going to be fun for sure. It gives you a lot of work. Yeah. Oh no. There we go. I messed it up.
Yeah. What are you doing?
You know, I'm just playing with stuff over here. All right. Let's see. So, Aaron, you're in Cali, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So, if you could eat anywhere, where are you going to go eat? What are you going to order? This is a question I feel like is super important to judge people on.
Food, dude. We always talk about food. I
Always
like
try to
that.
get back to it.
Can we just make that part of the show? The food part. We talk
The
about
food section.
I
Yeah.
can't wait till someone's like, "Oh, dude, it's just fuel, bro. It's just fuel. You don't need flavor."
No, dude. I live to eat, and I would literally die without food. That's just how I feel about it.
So my wife is Filipino, and I am your worst guest to ask about food. So in the entire world, I view food and sleeping as a chore. I hate eating out. It's crazy. So when here's the thing: when I travel, I eat the culture's food. So when I first went to the Philippines, I had balut. So if you know what balut is, and I was I made an effort to have it. So balut is a fermented duck egg. So you let the duck egg ferment. It's a delicacy. So you're chewing the bones. You really do, and there's feathers. But I was I want to try it because it was a delicacy over there. So I do try it. I have a ton of health restrictions for food and a ton of food allergies. So I'm gluten free. I have an allergy to soy. I have kidney disease. So I can't eat anything. So it's become such a chore to me over the years where I just eat chicken, rice, and broccoli almost every day. And I was a personal trainer prior to a lot of the stuff I talked about earlier. So it's just I make my same meal and I eat it.
Yeah. Damn.
So if I could have anything, the first chicken tender I ever had was Dairy Queen, and I would have that again. I love chicken tenders and I can't eat them. I don't care. I'm in my 30s. I would love to have them. I have my gluten-free. My wife makes gluten-free chicken nuggets for me, but they're amazing. They're better than them. They're not, but they're good. So.
Dude, speaking of Queen, it was free ice cream cone day, and I definitely went through the drive-thru on my way home and grabbed a soft serve cone for free. I was like, "That's that up." My badass. John, I really like your question, a really long question that you wrote down.
Gotcha. Okay. Now I know
really
exactly
like
which
that
one that you're
one.
going for.
I
So
want you to hear you say that one.
yeah, so I'm not looking at it, but I'm pretty sure that the question he's referring to is that, so let's say hypothetically, Aaron, you got an unlimited budget. You don't have any like parameters or any scope of something specifically you have to build gaming wise that you think would be like that Web3 game that you would build. Like, so if you could build any game, basically, like what are the things that you would have to incorporate in that you would like to see?
Yeah, I think there's two different games I'd build if I had an unlimited budget. One of them would be really limited to a certain select pool of people, i.e., it would target the bored apes in Web3, like those types of people. I want a game that is. Have you ever seen Gamer with Gerard Butler? So I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but you run on an Omni track and you actually move around in the game. There's VR games out there right now that are getting close to that. But I want haptic feedback suits. I want the whole thing. Like, I would love to play that. I have a VR and I have a Vive Pro. So I'd build one of those, like the most immersive game you could build. But that's not going to attract, it's too expensive, right? So it has a big curve. What's
future?
Yeah, that's later. The other one I'd build is probably either an MMORPG or an FPS. I'm a huge FPS player. The problem with FPS is you need an audience, and FPSs are really hard to maintain an audience these days. People just don't play them as much. And when they do, they play them very shortly, or they need some sort of like fuel to want to keep playing. Counter-Strike, for example, has their loot boxes, and they're not allowed to call them loot boxes anymore, I think, but that's what they are. So I don't know. I'd probably build an RPG that I could scale up. I've been watching Big Time's Journey, and I actually bought the Big Time thing a long time ago and played it, and I couldn't even get into it. And so I think like actually sinking time into hiring people to do lore and create new IP that's meaningful and a game that's actually fun tied to it would be super exciting for me. And as long as like I'm excited about it, then maybe other people would be, right? So it ended up being an MMORPG that has a good storyline. So
so I'm thinking about what's going on in my head when you're talking about this is like World of Warcraft and like the economy it had. Mm-hmm. And I really feel like that's like a perfect example of a game that could be made that would be successful nowadays still, because people play RuneScape still.
Yeah,
I know, it's wild.
People play RuneScape like for hours still and grind.
But the graphics are better now.
And it's no, they don't. They don't play that version. You don't realize.
Yeah, they play OG RuneScape.
They play OG, the original graphics, and they just click all the time and do nothing. But
it's wild.
That's what I'm saying. It's wild. But if you make a game like World of Warcraft, where essentially it's the same thing, but it's more immersive and interactive, but it has this massive economy that grows and grows. And I'm not even joking. The World of Warcraft economy used to be insane when we were kids and shit. Mm-hmm. If they made something like that, but instead it's cryptocurrency, the game's addictive. People play the game, but the cryptocurrency, like people will get rich as shit in that kind of economy, in my opinion. Well, someone else that makes the game, like I don't see why. It's because they're boomers. The people that made World of Warcraft are boomers. They don't see like looking at it and being like, wow, we could just take our game and swap this out and be like geniuses. No. Someone needs to make a game like that, in my opinion.
You need a free-to-play game with an economic model that rewards the company. It still needs to be a business. So you can't make a game where you're just giving out tokens to players.
You could tax transactions. That could benefit the company.
Yeah, but then you need the token to be spendable. The problem is these games are coming out and they're either just airdropping token or providing their own or setting up liquidity pools, right? And then you're incentivized to be a part of the liquidity pool. But then you're not actually going to play the game, right? Like you're trying to farm the token so you can go and sell it. And then you just like, that's not healthy to the economy. What you need is the game itself. The money in the game has to have value in the game so that people want it. And it has a deflationary mechanism so that the users who are making the game can tax it and then sell it to the players in the game, right? So then you have an actual circle. That doesn't exist. So right now, if the game's fun enough and it has a successful economy that's long term, great. But you need to build a game that can expand, right? And so that's the problem with FPSs and why I lean towards an MMO. An MMO, you can expand, you can add more story, you can add more quests, you can add more characters. FPSs, yes, you can add more you can add a new hero or something like in Valorant. But even then, it's still going to be the same fundamental gameplay. MMOs you can shift and tweak and change.
They're still looking at the like pay to win and the pay for skins type model that everyone has. Like, get out of it. Like no one likes it. That's why people don't play anymore, and your player base is going down because it's just copy and paste over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Stop. Make something
So
new.
that kind of makes me think of like, or imagine like a kingdom style game, right? That has its own economy. And then like the king or like the ruler, like you have to pay a tax, right? From the in-game economy to that person. That entity can be like the business. So like the deflationary mechanism and the way you're paying for your play on the game is like every epoch.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like pay a tax. And the only way you can generate that money is like playing the game and like being a merchant or a mercenary or something like that. I really liked Bannerlord, dude. I really liked Bannerlord. I don't know if you guys have played it, but like it definitely could have been better. But it was like one of those kind of games. Like you start out small, you have to like get a crew, and eventually you can't like make any decisions outside of your like class level until you get to a certain size. And so like I love that idea of like you have these different levels in the society, but essentially like you have to pay the kingdom tax like
Lineage. I think Lineage did that. And then there was a game called Silk Road Online, and this is really dating myself, but Lineage I think had that. Silk Road Online, there were thieves, traders, and protectors of them, and that's how the economy worked. The thieves would try to rob, the protectors would protect, and then the traders had no combat abilities, right? So it was literally a game built around the Silk Road trade. So it was really cool. I don't see a lot of those economy games. You see them in like EVE Online, and that's why there's games coming out that are trying to mimic EVE Online, because EVE actually has an awesome economy. So if you get some time, look at EVE's economy. It's wild. And we might get it with something like Star Citizen if they put $600 million more into Star Citizen. So Star Atlas looks okay too.
Yeah, Star Atlas. Visually gives me a lot of hope, but who knows what it will be. I've heard actually people say before that people won't finish it.
Which one? Star Atlas?
Star Atlas, yeah. I've heard that like people, they might not finish it and it might just be a money grab. So like that's why I haven't put any money into
I played the demo. They were here in San Diego at an event. I played GG and I went and played the demo. So it plays nice. It really does. It's polished. So
yeah. Do you think they'll finish it, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think they will. They had like their team was out here.
Yeah.
They the team wasn't that fun to talk to be blunt. They like didn't want to talk to the people there, which is why I think they're going to finish it. They weren't interested in the Web3 event. So they were more interested in like, why am I here? Like this is
Good.
Web3 Degens.
That's exciting. That game will be fun. That's like what I'm talking about too. Like I think, yeah, I'll look more into it now, even that you said that, because that's cool.
Yeah, I've been following that one a while. I don't own anything in it because it's so expensive, but I think it's worth watching.
Mm-hmm. Do you still own the big time thing? Because I played that a little, and I guess they don't. Okay, when I played, the servers were crashing a lot, and you had to jump around and stuff. It was awful. But apparently it doesn't crash like that anymore. And I'll be honest, when the servers weren't crashing, it was pretty fun. It was actually pretty fun. I could see how they could get a community behind them and create longevity behind that game. It's kind of copy and paste-ish, but at the same time, it's still fun to a lot of people. I actually know one guy, like Modern Canadian, we call him out. He plays the shit out of it and has made like money on it from getting NFTs big time and rewarded. You just earn playing, so he loves it. So
it looks good. I've heard that they improved it a lot.
Yeah, polished it quite a bit, which is exciting. There's some success,
One more thing I want to see in Web3 is a game like Party Animals. Dude, Party Animals is the easiest freaking game. There's only 2 buttons you press.
What about like a Mario Party? What about like a Mario Party then?
Yeah, a Mario Party would be sick. I mean, it would be sick if there was
Imagine
some
a Mario
kind of like,
Party where
skin in the
you play
game.
with your character. Imagine a 3D version of a Mario Party that's multiplayer. You can go and invite random people online to get in your like 8-person Mario Party. You play a full version of Mario. It's not actually Mario Party, but you know
Like
what
the
I mean.
game, yeah.
It's like, you know, but instead it's your 3D NFT figure that you get to play on the board with and all the mini games and stuff. That's a pretty good idea. It's a pretty good idea. It's copy
A
and
party
paste,
game
but
would be good. I
party
think
game
so.
would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they what's that one on Steam that people really like it, but it's like the rated R, like bloody one.
Dead by Daylight.
I mean that's a fun game. That's even that type of game. But no, it's something else. I can't think of what it's called. Of course I spaced.
No sweat.
All right,
What other questions we got, John? Huh?
dude. I mean, like, you know, what kind of movies do you like? I guess.
You just to get to know me.
That's
You know, I
another-
mean, like, usually we do it at the beginning more, but then we went straight into.
and that's actually one question John actually asked everyone towards the beginning. Besides the food question, the movie question too, because John is a huge movie buff.
Yeah, I'll judge you.
Yeah, he'll judge you, apparently. And yeah, he doesn't like white hero stories.
No, it's white savior movies.
Sorry,
so this
white
is like they have the exact same like arc, like the whole story is the same. This is like Pocahontas, John Carter, Avatar, The Last Samurai. You have like some random white American guy goes into some other culture and he saves them from the colonizers.
You
They're the
obviously-
same.
Yeah, you see the
the
industry
same.
balancing it out right now. You know,
Yeah.
they're bringing in. It's the same.
That's not
thing.
cool either. We need
That's
our
what
original
we're
ideas.
That's what I'm saying too. It's even Hollywood's copy and pasting right now. Why is everyone copy and pasting? We need the age of creativity. We need people to take acid again, like the '60s. You know, or fuck.
Well, look, I like a few different directors. So my favorite movie of all time is Everything Everywhere All at Once. So
Good one.
I love Daniel's. I like Swiss Army Man a lot prior. So I'll watch anything they make for the rest of the time. And then second favorite is probably Grand Budapest Hotel. So I love that movie quite a bit. And then I like Tarantino quite a bit as well. So I like Inglourious Basterds a lot. And most of what he does. So it's very hard to dislike that. And then outside of that, I watch more series these days than I do movies. Movies for some reason, I can justify like watching 4 episodes of a show for some reason because it's like smaller chunks. But then I'm like, I'll watch like 3 episodes. It's like, well, why didn't I just watch a fucking movie? But that my brain is like, because I do so many things, I like get off at 11 or usually a lot later. And I'll be like, okay, I'll watch an episode, and then I'll watch 3 episodes. It's like I should just watch that fucking movie because I haven't seen The Whale yet, and I want to watch The Whale so bad, but I haven't seen The Whale, so I'm gonna try to do that. But I watch a lot of like TV shows, and so I don't know if you guys watch those, but like this is where the takes will get a little bit hotter. Did not like Game of Thrones. Breaking Bad is overrated. So a lot of the big ones, like I think you guys aren't gonna like. But there's other shows that I like that are definitely a little bit more out there. But I've watched quite a lot of TV. So I watch anime too, obviously, given this is a Jujutsu Kaisen chair. So if you guys like anime. So
No, that's a dope one. I like that one.
yeah, thanks, man.
I saw you liked the gentleman comment the other day on Twitter, I believe. Have you seen that? Or was it just like I tweeted something and you were like,
I haven't seen it. No, I just support you.
Oh, okay. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. But that is one of the best Netflix shows that I have seen in a very long time.
It's
got
recommended to me all the time.
Yeah, it's got like a posh, like modern
Oh, it's Guy
day,
Ritchie.
like gangster type deal, and it's like so good. He's like the reluctant gangster, and I love the like reluctant hero villain type of character, like conflicted. So
It's Guy Ritchie, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's another
very-
one that I really like that just came out on Netflix. I think. I should look it him. Oh.
Yeah, this is cool. I want to watch The Irishman as well. I haven't seen that yet.
Haven't seen that one yet. I've heard it's
long,
good.
though. It's like
Yeah, that's why I didn't. 3 hours.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
3 hours plus. So,
Yeah.
and
Speaking
I've
of
heard
long,
Spaceman is okay. Adam Sandler in serious roles is always interesting to me. So he does usually better than we expect.
What's that movie? Rifle Jewels, or what's that
Oh,
one?
it was like Family
Uncut
Jewels.
Gems.
No, Uncut Gems. That
Uncut
was it.
Gems. Uncut Gems. I loved that movie. Honestly, it was wild. The ending was interesting.
I haven't
but at
seen
the
it.
same time,
It's on my like
wild.
list. It's good.
Watch
That's
it.
what I heard.
Watch
I
it.
should watch it.
Wild. In my opinion, it made me like Adam Sandler even more as an actor, for sure.
He always does really well in the serious roles. He really does.
It's just funny
Yeah,
because
I
we all
know.
think Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we grew up on it. It's the
Or-
shit, dude. We go
Right.
to every time I go to the golf course, I make a joke about Happy Gilmore. Like eventually, one time through the 18, I'll like go up and take practice with him. You know, freaking. Speaking of long, we're coming up in an hour, John.
Yeah, we're here.
And we could
We
probably
just
talk
got
to this
here.
guy for like freaking 3 more hours. I'll be honest. This is an endless conversation. We're definitely gonna have to have you back, bro.
For
It's
sure.
awesome getting to know you. And
After I make some announcements, then I can actually
Yeah.
talk about some of the stuff.
yes, sir. I mean, obviously, yeah. We don't want to overdo it, you know.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Like, we appreciate it. And yeah, definitely anybody that's watching, follow this guy on Twitter because he streams his show himself with another co-host or another host, and it's called The Break. Super great. Comes on sporadically, so you got to be following him to make sure that you catch it, right? But it's super good. Really great takes on everything Web3 and NFTs, and a lot of good conversation.
Him and his partner are actually really knowledgeable about the industry, and
Appreciate that,
probably
fellas.
learned a lot of things. I checked it out a little bit today just to get the gist, and I was like, wow, these guys actually know a lot of things that I've never heard of and have a lot of opinions about things. So definitely go check out his show.
I'm surprised you guys didn't ask me more tech-oriented questions. I usually am ready for those. So
No.
this was
That was
refreshing.
the whole
Yeah,
thing.
we're not that whole thing. Like John, I would say is way more into the tech, even more than I am. Like I don't know the super technical part. I think
Mhm.
trading's really cool, and I'm actually like taking steps to learn how to trade, on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Like that's really what I love about crypto too. So I'm taking that avenue, and then like if you talk to John, he's like DeSci, freaking AI, all kinds of stuff, and it's awesome hearing him talk and everything. So, but this show is just like, yo, we're trying to get to know everyone in the industry. We're trying to like shed light on things that are like positive, and adoption is really important. And like people like you are building things that are like going to improve adoption. So that's the goal.
That's the hope.
And that's
Yep.
and that's the hope. So that's why we're like broadcasting. We were trying to spread the word about those things. It's not financial advice. We're just chilling. This
Yes.
is Aaron.
There you
Nothing
go.
we said is financial advice. Don't listen to two guys really though on the internet, right? Don't listen to any guys on the internet because they might not even be guys. And you
Fair.
know,
It's true. You don't
This
know
is
what's
crypto.
happening on that PFP. You don't know, dude. I saw one of these weird accounts that followed me, and I like deep dove, literally posing as a woman. All of a sudden, some random black dude. I was like,
dude.
what the?
And they fish
What?
a lot of people, and a lot of people
Bro,
get fished.
they're weird. They're crazy.
Never
There's people crazy as shit.
any
Do not
links.
trust anyone online.
Social engineering is the number one thing we had to protect against. So I told you I was in IT risk and compliance. Not over 90% of the issues we had, I think it was even higher, so I'm estimating down, were social engineering attacks. Nothing, it was almost never an actual security breach. It was somebody would call. So I worked in healthcare at first, Sharp Healthcare if you're in the area. But they would call in and say, hey, I'm a doctor. I don't know I just forgot my username. Until somebody would give them their username. Then they'd have the username. Then they would call to get the password. Then they would get in and access data. So it's always social engineering. So Don't click on links. That's all. That's how you prevent it.
Links do not do anything. That's another important thing that, like, I think we don't talk about that like enough, John. Is like the safety you need to have on the internet with crypto. Like,
never share your private keys.
never share
all of that.
anything with anyone. Never screenshot anything. Write things down in a notebook that is safe and put it in your safe in your house. If you're one of those people with guns in a safe, put it in there on your shelf. That's where that belongs. That's like money in there. So protect your stuff. Don't be dumb on the internet.
All right. So we're going to wrap out now. I
Yeah,
appreciate
we'll
you
wrap
so
out.
much
We
for
went on a
coming
big
on,
rant.
Aaron.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right. So one thing that's super important that we definitely forgot at the beginning is we need to say thank you to our channel sponsor, cryptochips.io, which we need to get the images up, and we will. We'll have them up here.
We will. I've been slacking. We're also still going to be doing that giveaway. If you go into my account, I posted a giveaway. All you have to do is follow some people. You don't have to subscribe to the YouTube. That's just some extra stuff. But just retweet that and follow that stuff. Follow me and John.
Get a little care package, you know.
Care package, really cool, like really cool stuff. They're like these. These are real coins, you know. They're super cool. There's QR code coins. There's a bunch of cool stuff on that website. Go check them out. They're sweet.
Crypto merch is the best place for it.
It's
The founder's
number
awesome.
It's literally the #1 crypto merch store. And it's bound to blow up again. They make the best designs. They make the best quality NFT posters. I haven't gotten mine yet, but I'm going to. They make levitating things that have beautiful coins on them. It's super cool. They have a bunch of stuff. It's endless. So I want to do one more thing too. If everyone can go over to our YouTube, give that a subscribe. If everyone can go check us out on our pages, give us a shout out, give us a retweet, give us a like, check out Aaron too. Don't want to forget him. Awesome guy. Give him some love. Give us all some love. Thank you so much for everyone that came and tuned in. This is, I think, one of our best shows we've had. We're thankful for all of you that come out. Like, this is so cool. We just started this and we're doing great. A lot of it's because of John. A lot of it's because of me.
It's a team effort.
We actually put in some good work at the beginning to make sure that we gave as best quality project and kept upgrading as much as possible all the time. And we're still just trying to come up with ideas and stuff. So it's gonna hopefully get better and better and better. So thank you everyone that came out and just watched it. It's not even about us. It's about sharing the cool ass shit that's going on in the industry. It's
much
amazing.
cool shit.
There's so much cool stuff. And if you come watch us, we're just gonna keep on having these people talk about all this stuff. You're just gonna be like, whoa, I need to check this out. This is the new wave.
All right, but good night, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you on Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah.
Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. If we're the late night show, so come check us out. Come check us out.
Yeah, man. Good night.
Peace.
Peace.